Hi, I'm Lulu, and this is my YouTube channel. So, since the pandemic, most of the travel plans are canceled, and I have at least two travel plans abroad that were canceled, including my plans to go to South Korea. So, I decided to have a throwback Lulu travel series on this channel. So, please do watch this first episode of Lulu travel series in South Korea.
From the Ep.3, we departed via Air Asia flight to Incheon. I traveled with my sister Cindy and her best friend Lorraine. After 4 hours, we traveled and arrived at the Incheon International Airport. From here, we found our way to claim our luggage, and we also had our first meal. We got our wireless Wi-Fi dongle, and we headed to the airport bus booth to board the bus 6015 going to Myeongdong. The fare is for 10,000 won each passenger. So from here, we traveled for about
From
45 to
Myeongdong
1 hour.
station,
We arrived at our hotel in PJ Hotel. We booked a room with 3 beds and a city view, and it's a very nice hotel. We really enjoyed our stay there. We have an easy access to the Myeongdong district. We can easily go to Dongdaemun Design Plaza, our first destination after we arrived in our hotel. Here you can see this majestic building called the Dongdaemun Design Plaza. It's a good location for shopping and picture taking, as you can see. Inside the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, you can see various products that you can shop for. We checked several art installations and had our photos taken while we are shopping for some souvenirs inside the Dongdaemun Design Plaza. After that, we headed to the Dongdaemun Night Market. Here, we see several options for shopping and food options, street food that you can find in this night market. After that, we headed to the subway station in Dongdaemun, and we were able to find the Myeongdong night market. So we tried their street food as well, had our photos taken. We tried our tteokbokki and fish cakes with some soda for our first snack in Myeongdong. Most Koreans would go to these public night stalls to get their street food fix and some soju before heading home. We scouted Myeongdong for our first dinner, and there were several restaurants available. We wanted to try their Korean barbecue, and we ended up in this restaurant famous for duck barbecue. We met the owner, and he helped us choose the best option for duck barbecue, and he even cooked for us. So it was a really enjoyable dinner. Day two of our 5 day South Korean trip. We woke up on a really cold morning at 7 degrees, which we are not used to. We traveled by taxi to the nearest train station in Myeongdong. And here you can see at the train station, Lorraine is buying our tickets going to Nami Island. It was very easy to navigate around this train station. It's just a little bit cold because you have to go there early in the morning, and you can treat yourselves to some warm drinks and snacks at the Cheongnyangni station while waiting for your train. So we traveled for about uh, 60 to 90 minutes. It was a comfortable train ride. We were headed to our destination at Gapyeong Station. We arrived at Gapyeong Station where we had to navigate how to get to the Nami Island. This guy, he's a travel angel. He helped us how to go to Nami from Gapyeong. So we finally got our bus cards. We waited for the bus to Nami and we explored Nami while it was still very early before we headed to the entrance for the short ferry ride to Nami Island. It's pretty easy to travel from the ferry ride going to Nami Island. It's very spacious and can accommodate a lot of tourists. Here we arrived at Nami Island and it's still pretty cold around 9 in the morning. So we are lucky to find this convenience store where we enjoyed warm drinks and snacks again before we started our tour of the island. It's very, very relaxing because the place is quiet, even if there are a lot of tourists. You'll feel close to nature. There are several trees called the Metasikea trees. We enjoyed looking at these greetings lane in different languages. We loved roaming around the island and finding several cherry blossom trees. We had our pictures taken several times because it's our first time to see it. Here we also continued exploring the island. We heard about the famous Winter Sonata statue, which we found and had our photos taken in front of the Winter Sonata statue. We found other attractions in Nami Island, several places, statues that you will find. This is a very interesting statue of the mother and child. As you can see, it's huge and it's nice for some pictures to be taken in front of it. We were goofing around in this statue. Noontime, we got hungry, so we wanted to find the best option we could get for snacks and lunch. The weather started to warm up around 10, 11 in the morning, so it was really nice to explore and find your way to some snacks and lunch. We found some barbecue and grilled corn, which tasted really good, but we had to leave Nami Island. We took another bus and arrived at the Petite France. This is a small village and you will feel like you are in Europe. This village is famous for the Little Prince Museum. So you can explore and feel like you are in France. And it's also very peaceful over there because it's on a hillside. You'll also feel close to nature as you explore the place. There are several places that are very Instagram worthy. Take a picture in front of the Little Prince statue. Explore the Little Prince Museum and walk around just feeling the cool breeze around 1 in the afternoon. So we really enjoyed our walk. We really enjoyed goofing around and taking pictures in front of these houses and felt like we were really in France. It could get tiring walking around the Petite France village, but it was a very enjoyable experience. So we ended our trip over there, took another bus headed to the Garden of Morning Calm. This place has a vast land area, like you really will feel to be in a huge garden. The highlights would be that it's very quiet, peaceful, and you can explore and be close to nature and see different plants and flowers available in this garden. I liked it because there were not many people at that time when we explored it. So we felt like we owned this entire garden to ourselves. I especially loved my experience seeing this part of the garden wherein there are several variants of tulips. I love tulips, it's my favorite flower. And seeing different kinds of it, different colors, really was a highlight for me. I wish I could pick all of them, but of course you cannot pick these plants and flowers. So I really enjoyed looking at them and taking my pictures in front of these beautiful flowers. So it's one of the few things that you will see in Garden of Morning Calm. And again, we ended our trip over there a bit tired, but very nice experience. We took a train back to Seoul, and because we were a little tired, so we just found our quick dinner at McDonald's and ended our second day in Korea. On our third day, here you can see us in front of the PJ Hotel in Myeongdong. We woke up and it was another cold morning at 10 degrees, so we bundled up for our next adventure. We are set to explore the city, and we started by heading to the subway to purchase our cards and reload our T-Money cards for our transportation in the metro. So we were headed to the Gyeongbokgung Palace first. We took a train, just tried to take the line 3, and it's very easy to navigate going to the palace because line 3 is connected to Gyeongbokgung via the exit 5. And here we met Cindy and Lorraine's friend Evan. He is Korean and he helped us around the metro. We purchased our tickets and headed to the entrance of the Gyeongbokgung Palace. You can easily navigate this huge property by having a map with you, but these are some of the famous locations inside the Gyeongbokgung Palace. This is very historical for Koreans, built in 1394. I'm not expert in Korean history, but I felt that there's really a rich culture and history in this place. We went to several halls that used to be occupied by the Joseon dynasty, and it's very nice that they were able to preserve this place. It's also very close to nature. As you can see, there are many plants and trees and several cherry blossom trees. They are really beautiful and in the spring season, and we love taking pictures in front of them and just marveling at their beauty. I lost count of the times I took pictures in front of the cherry blossom trees. I had several photos on file, but I loved seeing other tourists, even locals, who explored this palace. I even met some of high school students roaming the area, and they were even photobombing my selfies, so it was very enjoyable. It's in the spring season, and it's not too cold to explore around midday, so you will really love it when you visit Korea in the spring season in time for the Cherry Blossom Festival. So we explored further and we even tried to visit their National Palace Museum. However, at that time, it was closed, so we weren't able to get inside. We ended our trip in Gyeongbokgung Palace, and we headed to the Insa-dong Street, famous for its shopping and many restaurant options available. We had our quick lunch at the Insa-dong restaurants and headed to the shopping complex at Ssamsziegil. And here you can see a huge mall, but it is a very nice structure. Also close to the famous Wall of Love. So it was midday and it's getting a little warm for us. We found this Starbucks in Insa-dong Street. Apparently, this is the only Starbucks in traditional Hangul letters written in front of the shop. Next, we headed to the Bukchon Hanok village, an entire village with traditional Hanok or traditional houses. You can rent some hanbok, their traditional clothing, and roam around and get your pictures taken around Bukchon Hanok village. This is a residential area. So despite many tourists going to this place, there are several reminders to tone down noises. It was an interesting experience as this village really showed how their traditional culture is when it comes to their housing, and several other interesting places to see within this village. So we ended our trip over here, and then just a few steps across we continued our tour of the city to another palaces. This time we are at Changgyeonggung and Changgyeonggung Palaces, built around the 1483 era. It's a very vast land area again. You will see many cherry blossom trees and it's refreshing. It's a little warm around this time. Probably this is close to around 3 in the afternoon when we explored this area. So we just finished our tour here and then headed to the Namsan mountain for our trip of the Seoul Tower. We bought our tickets to the Namsan cable car. It's probably around 20-minute ride going up the tower, or probably less than that. I can't remember anymore. But it's a very quick ride up top the Seoul Tower. It's a nice overlooking view of the entire Seoul. So we arrived at the second level of the N Plaza. There are, I believe, 4 levels to this tower. So we were able to find several interesting places like the Locks of Love. You'll find most tourists here as they clip on their locks of love to these majestic towers of locks, and at the same time have a very nice view of Seoul. Here we took our pictures and explored the area. We also saw several options for dining. There's even an Italian restaurant at the second level. So many places for snacks. So it's very nice, and it's already close to around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, so it's not too hot to explore this tower, but it's another memorable experience. We ended our tour and headed back to the hotel, and we searched for an authentic Korean barbecue for dinner. We found one, and it's a really nice place, bustling with a lot of employees ending their work at night and heading to get their fix of soju together with Korean barbecue. We also did the same, and it's a really sumptuous dinner that we had. Our first ever samgyeopsal experience in Korea, and it was very memorable. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Please click the link for part 2. Thank you.